everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another paycheck budget for you guys, and we are going to be stuffing just the daily cash envelopes, which are these right here, the ones that we use on a regular basis. So if you guys are interested to see how I use not only the cash envelope method, but also how to use the online savings, sinking funds, digital savings, yeah, we're gonna get into that. So let's get started and I hope you guys enjoy. So I am using my iPad. I have recently converted to the whole digital world. However, for those of you who do miss me using the pen to paper, guys, this is pretty much the same thing. The only thing is that I am not carrying a binder with me everywhere and I'm not wasting money on ink. And it's very costly if you think about it, printing out all of these paycheck budgets and all of that. So just keep that in mind. So I apologize for those who miss those type of videos, but this is really the same thing. I'm just giving you hopefully inspiration to get on a written budget and to really become financially free. That is my mission, to help families find freedom in their finances. So with the paycheck budget method, if you are a paycheck budgeter, you're essentially just giving every single one of your dollars a job. That is what Dave Ramsey preaches about, and that is really what I follow. So with the paycheck, every paycheck you receive, you are going to write in that number. So that's what we did up here in this income section. We wrote in how much we received for a particular paycheck. And then the next thing that I have been inspired by Jordan Page, but I just kind of threw in my 2 cents into her method and her rule of budgeting. She budgets based on percentages. She lives off of 70%, and that is really what has allowed us to cut back on a few things that was unnecessary and save for so many different things and events in our life. So if we move on to the percentage formula section, I've written in on this worksheet the formula. So you take your income and you multiply it by your percentage. 0.70, it gives you 70%. So taking this total here, 1892, you multiply it by 0.70 and it gives you a number. This number is to be used, hopefully, not going over, but it's to be used for any of your spending. Anything that goes out of your bank account, anything that goes out of your cash envelope. So that is your bills, your daily cash envelopes, those variable spending categories that you guys have. That is really what that line is for. So 70% goes for your expenses, your spending. Then 20% can go towards whatever goal you have. If you have debt, this amount can be allotted to pay off your debt faster. And what I like about the percentage formula is that it gives me a guide on, maybe we shouldn't spend on our spending or beauty or whatever your variable spending is. You can tweak and adjust your numbers, and that's really why I love this percentage formula. Now, the last item is giving. We tithe, and that is our personal belief on doing that. However, and I say this in almost all of my videos, if you do not tithe, if you don't go to church, you don't believe in it, all of that, it's a personal preference. It is a personal belief, but I do believe in giving back somehow, some way, shape, or form. Do something for a charity. Do something for somebody that you see that is in need. Because really, I feel that if you give back, you will receive so much more in return. And we have seen this countless times. So that is just my 2 cents in it. I've gotten a lot of questions about tithing and all of that, but we can get into that in another video. So the next thing, back to the rest of this paycheck budget worksheet, we move on to the giving section, which I've already calculated that. We do also give to a ministry. Next is our expenses. So I have all of the fixed expenses written up, and oh my gosh, I said that so weird. I have all of the expenses written in my worksheet, and where I got these numbers from is from a worksheet that I have in here. It is my bill tracker. So it's this right here, and let me just turn it. So this is the bill tracker, and there's a single sheet available in my Etsy shop if you just want the bill tracker. But you just write in all of your bills that come out. So you write in the due date, the total amount due, and then you just break it down by your paycheck. So you take that number and you multiply it, you divide it by the number of pays leading up to when the bill is due. So example, your rent. You obviously have to have the total amount of the rent or mortgage before the first. So if you get paid every 2 months, you want to split it into those two so that you can have the entire amount ready for the first of the month when it gets debited from your bank account. Now, I have all of these set up on auto debit because it's just so easy for me to just set it and forget it, and I know that my bills are due. So I really like using the bill tracker, and this is where I get my numbers. So it is the 16th. I just go down this column and I write in all of those totals. Now there's one thing here that is added that does not have a due date because we pay this every 2 weeks. So it's not a monthly thing, it's every 2 weeks. So all I do is I write in how much that we have to set aside for this. And this is for our personal trainer. Well, my husband's personal trainer. And so he pays for the training 2 weeks ahead. So he'll pay it on a Monday, and then it's good for the next 2 weeks for all of his sessions. And then we do it again the next time. So we already paid that this past week, but I do have to plan to pay that the upcoming weeks. And this is something that's new to our budget. So just keep that in mind, guys. I hope it doesn't confuse you too much if you've been following me from the beginning of the month. So now let me go ahead and flip back to the paycheck. So now we have that covered. But we still have some other expenses that do come out of our bank account, and that is our tolls, gas, and then something that has really helped in our finances is having a miscellaneous category. And miscellaneous is really just for like all of the other fluff stuff that tends to come up throughout the month or throughout the week period that we budget out for. So we just keep that in our bank account in case something were to be ordered online and we didn't pull the money from the envelope. It's just there for us to know that we have enough in our bank account to pay for that item. So I just keep $100 in our account to cover for those things. And we really don't go over that, honestly, because we do try to use the cash envelopes. So after factoring in all of our bills, we add it up and we're left with a number. So we have $751 for our expenses, and after deducting the income and the giving and the expenses, we're left with $926 to still budget out for. But we always reference back to our percentage formula. This is like that key, right, that you always want to reference to make sure that you are staying on track with what your goal is for this paycheck period. So with the expenses, we had said it would be nice to be within the $1,324 for any of the things that are coming out from this paycheck. We've used $751 already for that category. So we're still left with, let me actually pull up a calculator. So we take that $1,324 and we subtract the $751. So we still have $573 to still budget out for. So as you see here, we've already calculated these cash envelope amounts based on what is expected to happen this week. So we have our eating out, groceries, home, pet, and spending. Those are the envelopes that I do keep in my wallet. But the spending, I just give the money to my husband because he doesn't use cash envelopes. So I just mark it as an expense in my cash tracker. And then my spending goes in my wallet. We have set money aside for all of these items, and we budget out $75 weekly for groceries. This is what we've been doing for the past 2 years, and it's really worked wonders in our budget to stay within budget. So the total cash that we are withdrawing, that we had withdrawn already, because I have it here, is $385. And I use my teller slip to write in so that I know what I need to do. So in this case, I went to the ATM to pull this out, and my ATM does give out some ones. So I just did that. I didn't go to the teller. So I wasn't able to get like the $50 bills, but that's okay. I worked around it. And so this is the quantities that I needed for my particular denominations. And this is also in my Etsy shop. So now what are we left with? We said 571. I believe that was the amount. 573. is what was left over to be in that spending category for the percentage formula. So we are under what that percentage formula is. And that's really a great thing. You don't have to be exactly like spend all of the amount that you wrote in. This is just what you don't want to go over, if that makes sense. So let me know if you've ever tried out this percentage formula. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe it's not the 70%, you've tried the 80% for your spending, because I did start off with that when I did have debt. So just let me know if you've ever tried this out for yourself and how it worked. So now we have our savings portion. So that is our goal. So if you see here, I wrote in that the goal amount is for debt, savings, and sinking funds. So if your goal is to have a certain amount saved for Christmas, for a birthday, for whatever, traveling, then you can put it in a sinking fund and you will slowly build up that fund. So that way, when it comes time for you to spend the money to purchase your ticket, to purchase whatever, you have the money, you don't have to go into debt for it, right? Do not use a credit card to get the thing. Save for it as time goes on. So I have our sinking funds here, and these are the sinking funds that I have. All of my sinking funds are online. We have our online sinking funds here, and we save for our anniversary, car maintenance, Christmas, our birthdays, random gifts. You can save slowly whatever amount into a gift fund, medical, and vacation. So total in sinking funds is $225 that we're going to transfer. And then the next item is our other savings. So we have an emergency fund and home, and we are contributing to both. Yes, we do have a fully funded emergency fund of, right now it's 3 months, but we want to grow that to between like 6 and 12 months. That's our goal, because something big has happened and we haven't officially like said what it is here. Some of you have guessed it, honestly, but we haven't done like a dedicated video. So let me know, guys, would you want a dedicated video from my husband and I to like do a Q&A? I've gotten requests for our live Q&As. We did them a while back, but we haven't done them in a while because just it's been a little crazy. So yeah, let me know if you guys would like to have us do a Q&A with you and kind of spill the beans of what's been going on in our lives. Yeah, so let's move on. $196.59 is what went towards our savings for these particular categories: emergency fund and home fund. We are trying to save for a house, and I'm hoping that it could be like within a year, maybe 2. It all depends. I'm not too much in a rush. I do love our apartment. Apartment living is so simple, and we love the neighborhood. It's just the best. So I'm not in a rush. I want us to really take our time and make sure that we know where we want to live, because I hate moving. I cannot stand moving. It's the worst. We've already moved from upstate New York to Florida, huge move. We moved from an apartment here to our last house, and then from there we moved to our apartment now. So there's a whole video on that. So yeah, I hate moving. But anyways, let's move on to this last portion, and it's just one that I added in myself. It normally reads debt here, but I just covered it up. So I put in retirement, and it's $120, and this is specifically for my husband. So I just took 8% of this pay, and we're putting it in a retirement account. I know it should be 15% of our household income to be contributed to retirement, but because we want to save for a house and these other things, that's why we're still contributing to our retirement, but it's only 8% right now. So I have 8% of my pay going into a 401k, and then my husband also has the same thing. It's working for us right now. Once we save for a home, then we can get really aggressive and put, a lot in our retirement for the future. We've given every single one of our dollars a job. That is the point of a successful budget. If you are new to budgeting, I definitely recommend to start with, using cash envelopes for your regular spending, because if you use cash And I know times right now are a little iffy with using cash, but I truly believe the power of cash, it makes a bigger impact and you actually see the difference in your spending when you see it leaving your hand. But so now we're at the part of the video where we get to stuffing our cash envelopes. So I have some old cash envelopes of here, but these are the ones that I'm currently using, and we're gonna go ahead and get to stuffing them. So we're gonna start with our eating out is getting $50, and right now I have $2 left from last week. So some of you have suggested that from each pay, I just pull out the funds from here and then put it in our savings to have it grow. And for certain categories, I will do that. For others, I won't. So for this one, I will pull out the $2 so that way we can slowly save for what we want to. I'm going to take out the $2 for savings, and then I'm going to add in the $50 that we budgeted out for. 20, 40, and 50. So this is good, this is stuffed, and we're good with that. The next one is our groceries. Now for groceries, I am going to roll this over because we want to start building a little like stockpile. And I live in Florida, so this is like hurricane season, so we have to always make sure that we have enough food, canned food and stuff on hand. So I am going to keep the $15 from here and just roll it over for this next pay period. So we're gonna stuff 75, so that is 80, 90. Let's see, 20, 40, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 70. So we got the 60, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like having dollar bills for my grocery envelope just because in case, I don't know, I just like having dollars for my grocery envelope. So that's done. Our home, we did use the funds from here for our last Walmart order, but this is getting $30. Right, so 20 and 2 5s. All right. Pet is getting 30. I'm also going to be rolling this over. We have a vet appointment coming up, so I just want to make sure that we're starting to put money aside for that. So there should be 61 in here. 20 and 30. I'm going to put this in this envelope. And then last is our spending. So spending, I have $7 and I am going to keep that. I feel like I didn't do a lot of savings, but I am going to be saving that because I have to buy myself clothes. I'd rather keep that saving $7 in there in case, you know, my spending goes a little over that 100. So I'd rather just keep that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself the 100. Get these lined up. 20, 40, 60, 81. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And then this is for my husband, the 100. So I know $2, that may not seem like a lot, but that's $2 that I didn't spend on eating out. So that is a win for me. So I'm gonna put this in my savings. But guys, let me know if you have any questions at all. My hope for these videos is that it just motivates you to get on a written budget and really allow it to make sense for you and really personal to what your situation is. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys.